27, and that is entitled Home Invasion. So last week we saw a group of plucky heroes explore the rest of the floating library, finding all but one of the wizards dead. While looking into the eyes of the stone Medusa, it came to life and petrified Duvar, and after the group defeated it, they were able to use the hair or its snakes to essentially cure him back to his fleshy state. You then went back to the single surviving mage who asked you to wait a second, and as you did, he promptly got in the back of a griffin and left. This caused the library to start to descend and list to one side, and through a combination of brains, magic, and dumb luck, you managed to escape without hearing a storm, falling into the mountain far to the north. You then decided to return to Keld, and you started to descend the mountain to the west, finding a cave to shelter him for the night. As you approached the cave, you saw it was in fact a ruined stone structure. Inside, you find an old man sleeping in a bed surrounded by treasure, and that's where you decided to have your short rest.
Did we get a short rest?
I was going to say
that's where we're going to get to.
Did we get that short rest?
Okay, so you will all be glad to find that you have actually got your short rest.
Cool.
You're also kind of surprised that when you awaken, you will find both the braziers in the west and north rooms lit.
Remind me what I do for a short rest. Just roll or something.
You can pick hit dice and roll.
Oh, I can hear breathing in the background.
Yeah, we could hear you breathing last time. That's not new. The lights are new, which is worrying.
Hit dice and roll. So
Yeah, roll one additional hit dice.
I'm not right. Remind me, what am I doing?
You're playing Dungeons and Dragons with a
That's what I'm doing. But how? How do I play this game again?
If you go to the top of your D&D Beyond character sheet and click on
Right.
short rest, then at the bottom says what your hit dice is and how many of them you've got.
Yeah,
to roll
and you
to.
can roll hit dice to recover hit points.
Right. Okay. Thank you. At least someone tells me how to do it.
Sorry, I think most of us expect you to remember what happens week to week.
No, that doesn't work.
You seem particularly angry today, Mr. Tortoise. Do you need some sort of help?
Yes, always.
Do you require assistance?
Yes, he does. Is that it? Is that how much I need to do?
It's how many hit points.
That's entirely up to you.
Yeah.
I'm just eating dinner. Won't be long.
Would you like some crayons and perhaps to sit in the corner while the rest of the session takes place?
Right. I've hit the short rest button. Okay, so back up to full health, I suppose, yeah?
So where did you say the braziers were lit? In the west and the north, was it? Or east and west?
West and the east.
West.
In the little rooms either side of the place we slept in. Presumably they're just normal fire colours at the minute.
I don't know. What do you assume is normal fire?
Well, in terms of like in the real world, it's like a yellow-orange flame.
Yeah, yellowy orange sounds about right.
Okay.
I don't like that.
What's not to like?
It's sort of like that.
I mean, Mike, if you don't like it, I can change the colour of braziers if you want. Like, Like legitimately, I get a cantrip for that. You want purple? We
It's
can go
not-
purple.
Let's not draw the attention of anything in particular.
That's
So,
fair.
you will notice because of this, it's a bit more warmer and pleasant than it was previously, and the cutting wind from outside still blowing in through the entranceway, but the braces are helping stave off the worst of the effects. You feel, so that in between state of cold and warm. You're in the Goldilocks zone.
Oh, Goldilocks zone. So let me get this straight. While we were sleeping, somebody come and lit two big lights.
While you were sleeping, the braziers have been lit. How? You're not sure. It, whoever whoever or whatever did it, it did not wake you in whatever action was taken.
Well, they were kind, weren't they?
Whatever lit the braziers then can't be malevolent.
It's a big word for a short person.
I was gonna say.
I don't know how tall you are as a turtle, so I don't respond to that.
Not much taller than a normal person, I think.
I think I'm just gonna go check to see if I can see if the old man has woken.
You go left, I'll go right.
You don't go anywhere.
Oh, come on!
You do not have light feet.
I do. I'm a monk.
The waste.
You're like a half-ton turtle. So I'm gonna kind of traipse around, David.
He's going to use the word. You used the word traipse there.
Same team, guy.
I will give
Come
you guidance before you walk off.
And say I'll be right back.
on.
I'll get to about here and peek around the corner again.
Okay. As you approach the corner, you will see the sort of the orange glow of a fire flicking around the corner.
If I try to sort of glimpse around the corner, trying to do it without sort of being seen, so little as possible, poking around the corner, what roughly would I see? I just see a fire of some sort.
Make a perception check, please.
25.
Okay, so you see an old man huddled over the fire, holding his arms out to it to warm himself. In the room, you still see his straw mattress. You see piles of treasure. I'm just going to check to
Okay.
see if there's anything else in there. Just bear with. Yeah, now you're having a better look, and now it's illuminated by the lights. You will see numerous things around the room that interest you. What appear to be skeletal remains dressed in fine regalia. You're pretty sure you see a throne, and there are a number of intricate contraptions dotted around the room. And then obviously there's this Egyptian-style pillar in the middle.
Do the skeletal remains, do they look sort of fresh, or are they complete skeletons, just like very old, dusty cobwebs?
With your roll, you can see that there's no flesh upon their bone.
Right, okay. At which point I will come back around to my group. I'll say it does just appear to be an old man, but he has a lot of treasure, and there is something suspicious about that.
What's he doing?
He's just warming his hands over the fire. He doesn't seem bad at all. He doesn't seem like a bad old man, but I don't particularly trust.
Does he seem frail? Does he
He's
look hungry?
He's an old man. He could very well be hungry. I suggest, since he's seen us resting in his cave, that we introduce ourselves possibly, but take no harsh actions.
I think that's a good idea. I think we should offer him some food.
The loud breathing that we hear, is that still coming from the old man?
He's got
He
bronchitis.
was snoring, but his breathing is now normal.
Okay.
Maybe he's just got a set of powerful lungs. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll say, well, if everyone wants to follow me, I'll introduce myself first.
My inclination would be to leave without bothering the man, but if everyone else is against me, I will follow the groups.
He's an old man. It would be good to offer him some food.
You go left, we go right. You can pincer him.
I don't think that startling him would be necessary. He's just an old man at the end of the day,
Okay.
as far as we know.
Well, he could have done anything to us while we were resting, and he didn't. So I don't think he's inherently evil.
He's right. Do we want to stay here? Do you just want to move on?
I think we should at least thank him for letting us stay.
Everybody get out some rations.
Okay. I follow your lead.
Okay, so I'll pull everyone back around with me. And as I get to the doorway, I will call out and say, "Hello there."
The old man will look up from his fire and sort of look at you and not say anything to begin with.
Walk over and say,
I hold food. I hold a set of rations in my hand and offer it to him.
essentially say thank you for letting us rest in your humble abode. We want to thank you by offering you.
He will say
some food.
that this is not his home. That he has merely taken up caretakership of it.
I like what you've done with the place.
Whose home is it? It seems full of quite startling things.
He will say it belongs to an ancient race of which none survive, at least none in the same form as they were back then.
What happened to them?
War, famine, pestilence, death.
The same story of every.
I've met all those black guys. They're really nice people.
He will eye you curiously, Duvar. Say, you are new to
Say
me.
that.
I have not seen one of your form before.
Come from a long way away. Come for a little journey.
You must be quite young.
And stupid.
He will say the young will often trip, but they will get themselves back up again.
We can only hope. Can I offer you something to eat, sir?
He says, I'm preparing a broth. You're more than welcome to share with me. So there's quite a measly meal, but it will warm you on a cold winter's night like this.
Thank you. I'm happy to join if everybody else would like to.
I will incline my head and say that would be very gracious of you. These are my companions, and I'll extend my hand out and say, this is Ulfar, and this is Kritel, religious men. One likes beer, the other one likes lightning.
He will nod to both in turn, and he will pull back his cowl and reveal elven heritage. And he will say, I'm Gildor.
I'll touch my own chest and say I am Kassar, and my turtle friend here is Duvar.
Hello.
He will ask as he's sort of looking around for bowls and eating implements, and he ends up picking up some jewel encrusted spoons to give you with clay bowls, and he will feed, or he will sort of dip each bowl into the soup and pass it over to each of you. He will say, "Tell me, what are you doing so far out of the way? I don't often have company."
We fell from the skies, literally. There was a floating island. We were on it. We fell.
We did get here by quite unfortuitous means. We dropped out of the sky, as my turtle friend said. We barely escaped.
We went to a floating island of wizards that stole knowledge that was not theirs to steal. Things happened. The island fell.
Wizards and knowledge. How interesting.
Yeah, they didn't like to share though.
We had to defend them from some sort of aberration, and unfortunately, after that, the rest of the wizards fled, and the island fell without them being in residence.
The
They
rest?
called it a mind flayer.
I was going to say the rest. There was one.
He will ask, "Did you recover any of the knowledge? These things interest me. I am a historian of sorts."
We recovered some not so interesting in terms of history, but some that could be more interesting.
Can I do a roll to see if I trust him on that?
Sure. So what are you trying to ascertain, sorry?
Just the way he said a historian of sorts. Do I see that as being like he's trying to hide something?
Okay. Make your insight check.
At the same time, David, could I make some sort of check to check whether I think the soup is dangerous?
Sure. Insight from you as well.
Okay.
I didn't realise I was so good at insight.
You're uninsightful about how insightful you are. Yeah.
So, Kretel, you believe he's telling you the truth, but you're not entirely sure he's telling you everything. It's as if he's holding back something, although it doesn't. It's almost imperceptible.
Okay, so it's not something I'd be worried about.
Potentially, it really is how you would deal with that, I suppose. So yeah, he's not told you any lines, but he's not told you everything. Ulfar, you believe the soup to be good. Like as he's handed it you, he was very careful not to dip his hand in, but that seems to be only out of courtesy, and he is happily eating his own bowl of soup dipped from the same pot.
No worries. This pile of treasure you sit upon, is it yours?
He says, I possess it, but it is not mine. I merely take guardianship over it.
In the same way as the building we may stand, you are guardian of these things. You protect them from people that would steal them or harm them.
I protect them for the future. There are a great many things that do not survive through the ages, and it would be a shame if any of any of this, and he will gesture around him with his spoon, any of this was to be lost to time.
I understand.
Well, I've never eaten broth with such a fine spoon.
He says to forgive him, but he would normally have it with his, and he'll hold up like a carved wooden spoon. But, I don't normally expect guests. It's been quite some time.
It is not a complaint, I assure you. This is more than we generally get. And I thank you. So, how did you end up out here in the first place? So have you been here long?
Oh, not long. I came searching for this place. It's a place that has existed in rumours and whispers, and it was quite difficult to find. I had to excavate a great deal of the mountain to get here. There were others that helped me in this labour, but after they took payment, they departed.
I see.
And
So
the dead that lie around us, were they here when you got here?
Says yes, deeper in chambers that have since been buried through the movements of the mountain. I rescued them and then brought them here. Again, history must be preserved.
I see.
So you intend to stay here and live out the rest of your days? Wouldn't you get quite lonely out here?
He will say that I tend to wander now and then when I need supplies or when I need to stretch my legs. But the life of a sage is one of quiet contemplation quite often. Perhaps sometime in the future I would take a student, but that is not now.
You said you take supplies and you go. Do you wander down the mountain then? Is there a good route down the mountain that we can take?
Says there is a small village 2-3 days from here on the river that while they distrust outsiders, they do have an abundance of lumber and some food. For other supplies, I'll make the trip to one of the nearby towns or villages, depending on my need and the weather. I have not left for the winter. The mountains have been quite treacherous as of late. Unnatural cold weather.
Is there anything that you're finding yourself in need of at the moment?
He will say, while my supplies run low, I still have ample at the moment, and I do not need. But thank you for your kind offer.
Is there anything we could assist you with before we make off on our way?
You will say, I don't know. What kind of assistance can you offer?
We're strong, we're adventuring type. We can also, if you needed, do a ceremony to bury the dead prop.
I did also rescue a cat once. I'm a friend of nature.
Yes.
You also
Hard-working
ate a
fellow
cat.
here.
He will say, thank you for your kind offer, but these skills are not much use of a person like me. However, if you come across any ancient history or things that must be preserved, I will happily take them into my care.
There is one thing I would actually like to show you to see if you have any knowledge on it, since you're a sage and seem to have some wisdom. And I'll pull out my book of exotic maps. from the library that I have in my possession, and I'll
Mhm.
just sort of ask him to take a look over them and say, "Do you recognize any of these lands?"
So, do you hand it to him, or do you sort of hold it out in front of you?
Hold it out in front of me and sort of like I'll essentially move around to sit next to him
Okay.
and
So,
sort of.
so he will set down his bowl to one side, and he will look over your maps, and he will see. First of all, he'll sort of. They seem to be specific areas, so they're quite hard to place in the world.
Right.
He will sort of like glance through a couple of them, and there's one that looks quite foresty or jungly, and he'll say, "Ah, I've heard of this place."
Where is it?
He will tell you it's a ancient, and he would say, I suppose now, a lost city known as Half. And Cluck, I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
There with caller.
For reasons you're not sure about, Cluck, the name of Half fills you with a warm glow you've never felt before. It's almost as if somebody's casting healing magic on you. It seems to sort of give you a warm and healthy feeling deep within. As he flicks through another couple of pages, he will point out another one that has what look like hills and pools of water drawn on it, and a long winding map, or sorry, a long winding road. And he will say, "Now this is quite a rare thing. This is a Vespadian trade map."
Vespadian trade map.
And he will say that this charts the way across the center of this world to the southern lands.
Southern lands. Glance across at Ulfar. Is it you that comes from the southern lands? You do. You come from the southern lands, don't you?
I spent most of my life living in the Great Desert. Yes, I don't know much of the places that border the desert, but the desert I know fairly well.
So Gildor will shake his head and say, "No, no, across the desert to the more temperate zone on the other side."
That is a myth.
No, it's quite real.
I owe some centaurs some kind words then.
He will say that only the centaurs can traverse this. But, it is very real, I can assure you. It is a many months trek, and only the hardiest of them survive.
Well, if we have a map, I'm sure it would be easier. The lost city of Hearth that you mentioned, where is this located roughly? Sort of which area of the world? I take it it's not around here. I've never heard of it.
He says it's many months travel from here, far, far, far to the west, where the snow hasn't taken hold yet,
Across the sea.
across countless seas.
Maybe sometime during my lifetime I'd venture that way.
He will say it's always a it's always a pleasant reason to go searching in the hope of finding lost knowledge.
Indeed, and I thank you for your information.
He will say the rest seem to be quite outlandish. I don't know any of these places. And as you flick through, you can see there's a map that seems to be mainly made out of water, with a few dotted islands around. Another one that is just mountains and mountains.
Right. Okay.
Says there's something strange about these. It's as if there's a code hidden in the pages, but I can't quite perceive it.
If I look at the pages, can I discern anything? Sort of
Make a perception check.
Okay.
No, from all you can say, it's just a featureless map. Although it's not featureless, it's just hundreds, possibly thousands of mountains that are depicted, with subtle
Right, okay.
variations between them, but essentially it just looks blank.
Okay.
I pull out what I've got down as books boring in my equipment. It's just the random books that I found on wizards that were of no interest to me. And I'll say, these books, they hold no interest to me. I don't know if they would be interest to you, but you're welcome to them as a seeker of knowledge.
He will sort of glance through them, and he will say that while they appear interesting, they appear to be works of fiction and are not particularly of interest to him. Not even as examples of literacy.
No worries. I will tuck
Literature.
it back into my.
He says that the wind and the snow tonight will be quite harsh, but you're more than welcome to spend the night in his company, and set out down the mountains when the weather breaks in the morning.
That is very kind of you. I think we would all be quite happy to do that. My friends?
That is very kind of you. What
Yes.
say everyone else?
Yeah, sounds like a great idea. I'm going to take everybody else's silence as a yes.
Yep.
Silence is golden.
David, does he noticeably have anything that is broken or threadbare or in need of a little touching up?
Make a perception check, Ulfar.
Okay. Not good.
While his clothing looks haggard, it doesn't look particularly in disrepair. Cheap is probably the word you'd use for it.
Okay.
Thanks. So I assume we're staying here for the evening then?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
No arguments from me.
We'll set off in the morning well rested.
He will nod and say, "Please feel free to look around, but do be careful in some of the deeper passageways. They can be quite unstable, especially if the mountain shifts."
As the guardian of this place, is there any rules we should follow? We obviously do not want to be poor guests.
He will say, "You must bring no harm to any of the items here or any of the people that reside within, and that will extend to you and your colleagues. Or, sorry, you and your friends, companions.
I understand. I presume this also extends to we should not remove anything this place either.
He will say that he's the guardian of these things, and to remove anything from his care is to dishonor him. As at best, you indicate that he's not likely to take care of them well, and at worst, you're no more than a common vagabond.
I understand. We will abide by your rules, sir.
David, can I roll my
Your hit dice.
hit dice
Yes,
for
you
my
may.
health?
That's like we're about to take a long rest anyway.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well,
So
we have
we're in
no.
the evening time wise, aren't we, David? Like we're taking like
Yes.
an hour or so to rest in the late evening.
Yeah, the night was closing in as you entered this place, and then you've taken a rest, so the sun has set outside.
Okay.
I think I may take a quick look around, but I'll bed down rather shortly.
I agree. I would be interested to see more of this place.
If I was going to do that, I'd probably prefer to do it after I've had a rest.
Oof.
3 in a row. Oh, that's bad.
Oh, there we go.
I'd like to ask the old man something, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
I have in my possession maps and plans in Goblin language. Could you speak Goblin at all?
We say I might be able to understand some of the meaning. It's not a language I'm capable of speaking. So I might be able to understand the meaning of such things.
Okay. Could I show you these then, and show him the maps and plans I picked up from the first encounter I had with the hobgoblins?
He will look through it, and he will point out certain things. He says, "This is the symbol for home or fort. This indicates something of interest, perhaps a path or a secret." And then he will point to another area and say, "This seems to be the symbol for." And he seems quite puzzled for a moment, and then he seems to settle on enemy.
Okay. And the thing, and does it look like the enemy is in a town, or is he traveling along a road, or have they decided? Does it look like they put up a blockade or something there?
You'll say, "I'm sorry, they're quite crude, and the words aren't proper. They're more feelings."
Okay. Okay. The maps that I have, do I recognize them from? Do they make any sense to the world map that we have?
I would like you to make I'm going to say an investigation check to try and work out where they relate to in relation to the world map.
Let's have a look here. No.
Oof.
No, you really can't place them anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
He will say, "You're most welcome."
Kassar, did you want to go and look around, or are we to wait and look in the morning with Kritab?
If everyone wants to bed down, I'm only going to have a quick sort of peek around. It won't take me more than an hour. I'm just sort of going to have a quick wander around and then come back and settle down for the night.
I will go if you will go.
Absolutely. I'll ask the old man. Sort of say, do you have a general direction in which is good to explore? I always like seeing new things.
He will say there are a couple of rooms that still stand to the west of here. Most of to the east is now buried under snow and mountain, and you will find little of interest there.
Then we should go to the west rooms. And thank you.
Let's go.
And I'll head out after you.
We all going? Should we all go?
I mean, don't have to. Me and Ulfar are deciding to go.
Yeah. We're all going.
I'll tag along just in case.
Something happens.
I think I'll remain here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna head into the northwestern room and sort of have a look.
Okay, so as you look in, first of all, do you somebody's carrying a light source, correct? It's quite a dark and cold room.
Someone's got a
Yes.
flaming sword. I thought someone had a flaming sword.
I've
Yeah,
got a sword that can cast light.
Clark has a scimitar that's
Yeah,
got light cast on
Perfect.
it.
As long as there's some light being shone, you can see what appears to be a room stocked with provisions. There are sort of probably about a quarter of them still seem to be intact, and the rest of them are emptied, and there are sort of open crates, barrels, some of which have been broken, stacked up quite neatly.
This is his food store. Well, at least he has enough rations to get him through the winter.
Yes. Nothing of interest in here, as I can see.
No.
To the west. What do I see in this western room?
So in the western room, there seems to be sort of heavy pieces of canvas that have been rolled up.
Okay. I'll like inspect them further, see if I can discern what their purpose is.
Okay, and how do you go about doing that?
I'll probably initially I have to be in a place where everything gets up and attacks you. I probably won't touch anything. I'll probably just like walk through the room, avoiding touching things, but trying to get a closer look to try to work out what they are or any sort of.
Okay, so make a I'm going to say a perception check, but add disadvantage to that.
Okay. Okay, that's so 15.
Okay, so as you look around the room, you're not certain what the items are now. You've got a suspicion that some of them might be paintings, just because the backs appear to have. Well, one of them has what appears to be a note or a message or a signature across it.
Mm-hmm.
The other one has sketches across the back and stuff like that, not dissimilar to when an artist is working on canvas and he's using both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Bless you.
I'll call back to the others. This room is slightly more interesting, although I'm not exactly sure what these things are.
Why? What's in there?
They appear to be like rolled up, like canvases, parchments, maybe paintings. I'm a little wary of touching things after being in the island of animated objects.
My
But,
interest will immediately fade. I'll say that's fine. You can look at the paintings. I'm just gonna turn around and walk backwards.
Okay. I'll unroll one closest to the door just to see what I see.
It appears to be a landscape of sorts. There is a gleaming city far in the background, smoke rising above it, a river that runs across its northern border,
Hmm.
mountains beyond, and trees all around it. And the vantage point is sort of above, looking down and at an angle, so you can see over the top of the trees and you can see the city glittering.
And the city isn't familiar to me.
Make a history check.
Yeah, I'm good at that. 13.
It does not ring any bells or any city you've seen, or indeed any areas you've seen, but you're not sure whether that's because you've never seen it or because it's more artist impression than anything.
No worries. I will lose interest and I'll follow the others back towards the central room.
I'll cross over and head towards the right hand room. I'll sort of walk in and just have a look around. This one seems a bit more ruined.
Yep, so there's snow built up in one of the sides. As you look around, you can't see an obvious way for it to have seeped into here, but presumably somewhere that you can't see there is a buried entrance or somewhere that opens up onto the mountain.
If I brush some of the snow away, is there anything underneath it, or do I just find more snow?
If you immediately start digging, you will just find more snow, and then you'll get low enough to get to the floor if you was to keep digging after that.
I'll say, well, there doesn't appear to be anything interesting in here.
Just no.
Well, I suggest if there's nothing interesting that we go and take a rest. And get ready for the trials tomorrow that we'll have, I'm sure, once we leave this place.
Just before I bed down for a rest, I'm going to use one of my divine senses.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the only thing out of any of that you do detect is good coming from the old man.
So Duval says,
Okay.
so my friends, did you find anything of interest?
No, we found some provisions and some art, but nothing in particular.
Okay.
So the old man will turn to all of you and says, if you would like to make camp in one of the side rooms with the braziers, they are the warmest, and if you're not suited to this climate, you will find them the most comfortable. You are, of course, welcome to stay here. I will be up for some hours yet.
Well, we wouldn't want to disturb you, so we can always sleep in the side room.
And we do thank you for your hospitality.
Before we go to bed down, I would ask you, you are obviously of one of the aged races. I'm but a man, we are young in the world. Do you have any advice or good word or words that you would pass on from a place of knowledge and wisdom that I might not have been able to secure for myself?
He will say, only this. There are some who are so concerned about getting from place to place that they don't realise where they spend their or set their feet from one moment to the next. Always consider your surroundings, for this world is full of great history, and from history we can learn not only of the great deeds but of the many mistakes that those came before us took.
I will take those words to heart. Thank you.
I get out I wander into the side passage, and as he said, go to one of the braziers.
I'll follow after.
Yeah.
And I will bed down for the night. Get my bedroll up.
Yeah, I'll get my bedroll and my blanket out.
Yeah. Before I bed down, I will go over to Cortel and I will say, as we agreed, this armor is rightfully yours. I would suggest you help me in taking it off before we go to sleep, so that you may take what is rightfully yours.
Don't worry about it. You keep hold of it. I'm defended enough at the moment. However, I would like if we did find a decent sword that I would like to.
Animate it.
I will make my best effort to find you this sword, my friend.
Thank you.
We are still owed the gold, though. I will remind them.
Go.
I am aware.
Okay, so as you prepare to bed down, does anybody want to do anything particular, either during or before or after the long rest?
Meditate. If I can.
I'm going to read my druid joke. I'm gonna learn druid jokes.
I'm
Download
gonna. Oh, sorry.
Go on.
I'll say I'm gonna sit up and read my book on herbs and spices for a short while, and try
11
to
different blends.
think of some nice recipes to use.
Are you going to look at Cluck and lick your lips?
No.
Anybody else for anything else?
I am going to pray to my deity, hoping for fortune tomorrow.
Okay. Does anybody want to eat anything?
I'll eat some of my cheese.
Yes, I'll have a ration.
I presume we've eaten broth. Like,
Oh yeah, we have actually.
do we feel? Do I feel sated? Do we feel like I've eaten enough? Or
I'm gonna say that's entirely going to depend on the life that you've been accustomed to up until now.
okay.
I was gonna say I'm gonna feel like I should be relatively okay. I'm used to army rations of a sort.
Cluck, on the other hand, needs to
Yeah, I would
fuel
have
his
thought.
frame.
Duval would be fine as well, because he's a wanderer, a bit of a wanderer, probably a little less.
Okay. I'm gonna eat some rations.
Okay.
Just as a sensible thing to do. You might not know. Might not know the next time you can stop.
Okay. So, Cretel, I'd like you to make a religion check.
Good.
Okay. We'll find out how your god helps you if he's at all listening.
It's worth a try.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. Are you going through any sort of watch, or
Yeah, well, yeah, I presume we'll do a watch.
Yeah. It's got to be careful no matter where you are. Something else could walk in.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like it's defending the opening to the cave.
Yeah, it's not shut off. It's not defended.
I would say the people that have got spell slots to reclaim should be the most sure of getting sleep, and everybody else go after that.
Well, I'll take first watch while I'm reading my book on herbs and spices and learning to, trying to teach myself how to make a more succulent like venison broth.
Okay. So, is anyone, if I just randomly choose an order, so Kassar, Cluck, Duvar, me, Kratel on the watch order? Everyone okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
there you go.
And if I could just have your perception checks for your moment on watch.
Yes, Clark. Perceptive chicken.
This is the healing eye.
Oh, so you'll be very glad that you will all benefit from a long rest, which means Kratel, you will reach level 6, and you can level up accordingly.
Cool.
Kassar, during your watch, you will see the old man return from outside. Now, you didn't see
Right.
him leave, so either you didn't see him leave or he left during somebody else's watch.
I had first watch though, so he couldn't have left before.
Dun dun
Do, do, do.
dun.
Well, presumably, looking at the building, he could have gone out the other side
Maybe
on the sly.
Yeah. Does he walk through our room, or do I just see him enter and sort of walk
He
round?
does not. So you see him walk into the entrance hall, and what draws your eyes to him will the shadow that he casts up from the other brazier. But
Right. Okay.
within a couple of sort of seconds, he's disappeared out of sight again.
What did I see in the shadow?
Just the sort of the.
Just a long shadow, essentially.
It's more of this bright light across from you, and you feel you saw him pass in front of it for a moment.
So you
Okay.
felt like a shadow
Okay, yeah.
come across to you.
Okay. When we sort of all get up and have finished our rest, I'll ask if everyone's feeling ready, and if everyone's ready to leave, we should say goodbye to the old man and head out.
Mm-hmm.
I
No.
will also let everyone know that last night before we left that room, I did a sense for good and evil, and I got a good aura from him.
He does seem like a good man.
Surprised you guys aren't killing him.
Why would you
Did
say
cross my
that?
mind.
To be fair to Duvar, you've killed everybody you've come across so far.
We didn't kill that last wizard.
I don't remember Duvar objecting.
Well,
To be fair, Duvar, our encounters have been with pretty awful people so far.
yes. Well, maybe.
Much as the bandits we met on the road took
So
out.
should we go and say goodbye to the old man then?
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of pack up my bedroll into my pack, make sure that I've got everything stowed, make sure everything's secure, and then I'll sort of pack up and head in.
Damn, you're slow.
Okay, so as you enter the room, you'll see the old man. The fire's burnt down to embers, and he's sort of sat back reading what appears to be a book. Although from the cover you can't make out what's in the book. It just seems to be plain backed. But he will sort of set it down in his lap as you come towards him.
Oh, what's the book about? Any good?
He will
Does
say,
Duval?
"History."
Whose history?
All of our history.
Okay.
Well,
I think we're off. So it's nice to meet you. Thank you for your broth, sharing your food.
It was good meeting you, and I hope to see you again one day. I hope you enjoy your time here.
He will say,
I raise an eyebrow and look at Greta. Enjoy your time here? Question mark?
If studying history and being by himself is what he enjoys, then more power to him.
he will say that you're more than welcome to visit again, and if you was to find anything of interest to him, he would be very interested to see it. He would be unable to offer you anything for it, but he would take good care of it.
I'll incline my head and say thank you for your hospitality.
good day to you, sir.
May the blessings of the Storm Lord be upon you and yours.
And with that, I'll head
Wow.
through and head
Through the wall.
towards coming out.
Clark, how did you do that?
I climbed. I flew over it.
Okay, so as you step out into the mountain air, you'll see that the snow and the wind from the night before has lifted. It is a clear and somewhat sunny day with very little wind, although being this high up you can't escape it all. It is a little warmer than previous, but still very cold, and you still soon find the sort of the bitter wind, the bitter weather biting at you.
I'll pull my winter cloak around myself. And say, I presume we're carrying on as intended. West and south.
Yeah, we do need to get back to town. There's a couple of bits we need to do. There's a load of stuff we need to give back to the residents.
Indeed. So yeah, I guess we head west and south.
Okay, who's leading?
Definitely Kassar, the man of nature, I would presume.
Okay, then Kassar, I would like from you a survival check.
I say I did not submit to that.
No, I
Kassar-
just.
There you go.
Kassar
Give
finds
yourself
himself ahead of
advantage.
everybody else.
Whoa, too many people talking.
Advantage.
Go on.
Oh, with advantage. Okay.
Oof.
No.
Okay, so you find yourself down into the bottom of the valley easy enough. But as you spend an hour walking, you will find yourself not where you expected. And you will come over what you expected to be the final ridge, only to see more mountains in front of you.
Okay. When we reach this final ridge, what can we see from our vantage? Like, other than obviously in the direction
So-
we're going, more mountains.
You can see a winding valley in front of you, a very tall peak, almost looming above you now. Peaks to your west and east, and then sort of the other side of the ridge you've just climbed up, extending away to your south.
I say we should head down south
It's,
then.
I would agree. That would be my
Sorry,
best guess.
when I say south, you don't know which way is south at the moment. Essentially, with your survival check, Kasar, you have gotten lost in the mountains.
Okay.
Okay.
Reorientating. Presumably, obviously, there's different deals with suns and stuff, but we would be able to orientate our direction using the sun if we paid attention to that.
Based on
Surely.
his survival check, you did not.
No, I mean obviously in the direction we were going, but now when we're trying to reorientate ourselves, do you want another check for us to try and, having found ourselves not where we expected, to reorientate ourselves in the right
Please.
direction? Survival check.
Again, from whoever's taking over leading the party.
I'll turn to Cluck and say, do you mind flying up and seeing if you can see any way for us to get down a bit easier?
Certainly have a look. Is the wind calm enough, David?
The wind is as calm as you felt it in the mountains.
Okay, I will. I'll take flight and have a look at my surroundings.
I'll say to the rest of them, I know where I'm going, but
Obviously, don't.
you Cluck, you go up and check just in case. I just want to make sure.
Okay. So I take
Okay.
flight.
Okay,
Was that
so,
a left or a right of the snowy drift?
so while Cluck gets up into the air, what's everybody else want to do?
Let's go survey the surrounding area, see if I can see any tracks in the snow at all.
Do you want me to roll anything, David?
Perception for you, please, Cluck.
I will look around myself and see if I can recognize anything from the maps. Comparing the maps to where we are. The angle of the mountains or anything like that.
Yeah, I should probably clarify. So I'm looking for like animal tracks because I know that they'll be heading towards the river to drink. So I'm looking for sort of
In the mountains.
Hey, animals live in the snow as well.
And most of them eat the snow.
No, it's not healthy.
Yellow snow is bad.
Brown snow is worse.
Okay, make a survival check, Kasar. Duvar, you can make, I'm gonna say a survival check as well.
13s, man.
Unlucky for some.
Survival.
That's better.
Okay, so between you, Kasar and Duvar, you're fairly certain that you've travelled north rather than south, as intended. And when Cluck comes back to you, he will confirm that you are further into the mountains and that the lake is some way off to the south. Cluck, you've also, on your way down, you've spotted what appears to be a break in the mountains a little bit further to your north, and that seems to break eastwards and into flatter ground that way. You didn't have time to sort of look at it fully, and it was quite obscured, but you believe you could see a sort of a break in the mountainway that could possibly be traversed.
Okay. Sort of like a plateau.
More like a sort of a crack in the mountainside, so as if the mountains have split apart and there's now a sort of a jagged valley, if you like.
Like a gorge.
As I glide back down and land, I will convey that information to the rest of the group.
So where are we? Where do we think we are? About here?
High on the map.
Are we still at the pie? Are we?
Yeah, well, it's been moved
Yeah,
since
for like game terms, you're there or thereabouts. Although
Okay.
it's a lot different on the ground, as you're finding. It's the first time you've kind of travelled without a road to guide you, so
Yeah.
and it's the first time you've actually gotten lost. So there's it's the benefits of roads and rivers and.
I say, well, maybe Cluck should fly up ahead of us, and we'll follow you, like a small chicken star.
Someone tie a rope to him.
I've just landed. I will then take off again.
The question is, do we go east or south?
I think we still go south.
Yes, we've had enough trouble exactly traversing these mountains without trying to make a new plan. I'd say we stick with what we planned from the start.
Okay. All right. I'll push ahead, following Cluck then.
Follow me, lads.
And you're traveling south.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody want to hear some druid jokes?
No.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Hit me.
How did the wild-shaped druid catch a fish without a fishing rod? With his bare hands.
I
All
will
right.
groan.
You can stop telling jokes now.
No, tell more. Tell more.
What did the dentist say to the wild-shaped druid? Just grin and bear it.
I'm glad I'm flying, so I don't have to hear this.
What did the aquatic form druid say to his friend? Got you on the flipper side.
Okay. And this
No,
goes on for several
hold on.
hours. And it's long after midday before you will find yourself coming to what appears to be a glacier, and below it will fall away, and the very bottom of it has started to melt, and there is a waterfall that it has created as it drops suddenly down. Now there are cliffs all around it. There doesn't seem to be an immediate way down, but stretching away from the front of you, you can see a river that snakes off and joins a larger river that flows through the cut in the forest.
Kind of look for sort of a safe way down from where we are, to see if
Is
there's
there a
any
way
way
you
to
could
get down to sort of a ground level.
attach rope, abseil down.
Yeah, how high up are we on this sort of like from sort of somewhere that would be traversable?
Probably around 150 feet.
Okay. And how easy does it look to climb down it?
So there are ridges and crevices that you could rest on. It would be hard going, but it's passable. So Kassar and Cluck have climbed worse.
Okay.
I don't particularly like climbing.
It does not seem that we have any other choice, my friend.
So if you need a rope, I can always sling you the 100 feet of rope.
Yes.
With a sigh, I will pull out my 50 feet of rope.
Mm-hmm.
I'll add mine as well.
What can we tie it round? What is there like a rock, like a solid piece of rock we can tie
Or
it
like a
round?
big tree or something.
Tie it around each other.
There's no trees. There are sort of some rocks and boulders, some of which look particularly heavy and unlikely to move.
Go up to one of the larger boulders and just sort of wrap the rope around it and give it a tug. So tie the other ropes onto the end of this. We should be good.
Okay, yeah, presumably we do that. We secure it all, and we get a long rope between a lot of us to climb down.
Yeah, so if you attach 3 lots of 50-foot rope, you'll be able to create enough rope that will stretch down to the bottom. Now, obviously, Cluck, you can fly.
Yep.
I'd like you all to just make a perception check just to see what else you see down at the bottom of the cliffside.
Yes.
Okay, so between you, you can see a pool of water that the glaciers are melting into and running away to form the tributary of a river. You can see what look like bits of ruined walls that have got trees growing up in and around them. And the water at the bottom looks half frozen. You you can't tell how deep it is. It seems to be gurgling where the water meets it coming from the cliffs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that is it.
Okay. And once the ropes all tied together, I'll start climbing down and say to Cluck, wait here, and once we're all down, untie the rope and fly down. We'll meet you at the bottom.
So Kasar's first on the rope. Who follows him?
Yeah, I'll go.
The answer can be nobody, and you can wait for him to get down to the bottom.
If I see him safely about half the way down, I will probably start climbing.
Okay.
Do you want me to start making athletics checks?
I would like an athletic check.
I know it's coming. Yes, it begins.
I was
We're
gonna
gonna
say,
slip
just as
down the
everybody goes to go past me, I'll wait until like last, and I'll just tap everybody for guidance as they start going.
Okay, so it
I
would
don't
only
think guidance is gonna help that.
no, it would only apply to one person because it's concentration, isn't it?
One at a time, people.
It is concentration, but I was hoping they'd use it on their first go
Okay.
because it's up to them.
Okay, yeah. So Mike, roll a d4. It's actually 11.
Gets it to an 11.
Okay, so you are able to hold the rope, and you are able to reach the first of what appear to be 3 ledges that you can rest upon. So the first one's probably about halfway down. The second one and the third one about 100 feet down, and probably about 90 feet down.
Okay.
And
As I
then
reach the... Sorry.
I was going to say that based on where you're sort of coming down, you're coming down at the what would be the next to the pool. Now you don't see an immediate way through, but you're pretty sure once you're down onto that sort of footing, you'll be able to find a way across the rocks.
Okay. I shall take a minute to gather my breath from the ledge while holding onto the rope, and then I'll continue my descent.
Do you want to check from me as well, David? Because I'd probably start
Yes,
going
please.
now.
I'll make another check, I imagine.
Oof. My guidance.
Yes!
So that's an 11 for me too.
Considering I don't know how these dice rolls are, but if they're pre-rolled, I thank you for taking that one off of me.
Meanwhile, I'm just circling in.
Okay. So while you're circling, Clock, can you just make another perception roll?
Yep.
Cluck's looking at the sun.
11s are popular today.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. Okay. Clock, that is enough to see what appears to be
An avalanche.
a group of figures moving towards the lower ledge where Kassar is moving down towards.
Okay, am I able to make haste and swoop down, hover in front of the, or make out some sort of eagle screeching sounds?
Sorry, just repeat that. You broke up a little bit. So what do you plan to do?
Either swoop down and let them know, or make some sort of eagle squealing sounds.
So to let Kassar know.
Yeah.
And how far are you planning to?
Well, I assume I'm probably a good 50, 60 feet in the air, and they're another.
So so Kassar's around 80 feet from the top of the cliff. Ulfar's probably about 30 feet from the top of the cliff.
Okay, so I will descend 100 feet. 150 feet.
So do you want to go down to sort of Kassar's level?
Yeah.
Perfect.
To let them know that I've seen figures moving towards the first ledge.
Okay. So as that happens, let's see. Kretel and Duvar, do you do anything at seeing Cluck swoop down?
Well, I
Look over the edge.
Yeah, I'd naturally look to see where he was going.
Okay.
Cluck, are you saying anything to me as you fly past me?
No, I'm going way too quick.
Okay.
Yeah, he cares about his.
Do I hear him talking to Kassar like when he gets within earshot?
You can make a perception roll at disadvantage because of the falling water.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, so 20.
Yes, you'll overhear enough of him to hear him say.
Then if I overhear there's danger and like I will start like pulling up the rope to like my platform to like expedite Kassar coming back this way.
So you're not on a platform yet.
What?
Oh god! I thought
You're
I
just
was
dangling.
climbing. Okay.
Yeah, you're about halfway to the first platform. Kassar is more than halfway to the second platform.
Okay. So yeah, well, that's my intention. Once I get to the first platform, is to start pulling if Kassar hasn't already come up the other way.
Okay. At this point, I would like you all to roll initiative.
Oh joy!
I can't even click my own figure.
Yeah.
Wait for it.
I'm gonna wait. Yep.
So you're gonna have to forgive Kretel and Duvar. You are sort of floating in the air because you're technically off map.
Ah, okay. I didn't click my thing. Sorry. I didn't wait for it.
In the last 3 years alone, there's 12 cases where hard to catch criminals. They show up in front of his head up. Guys, most of them get railroaded in lungs. Got off. They were found murdered a month after their.
Yeah, apparently I'm over there now.
I had to move you to be able to click on add.
All right.
Add to.
I thought I did that by accident. Sorry.
It's quite.
Was just getting down because of how or witness your death. Maybe he didn't trust that we leave your dirt, so he tried to make it look like a drug deal gone bad.
Powerful man. He got it.
Okay.
How have I got third? How do you guys roll?
So Kretel, you are the first to react. Although I'm going to say you and Duvar, apart from seeing Cluck fly down, you have no reason to react. So based on that information, what do you do?
So I'm at the moment. I'm just looking over the edge to see if I can see why he went down like that.
Okay.
Swooping down like a peregrine falcon.
So we will quickly move past you and onto Kassar, who has just been told by Cluck there are shapes moving.
How far away am I from the platform below?
You're probably about 10 or so feet at this point.
Okay, I'm going to get to the platform below and then just see if there's something I can hide behind, like a rock or a piece of loose sort of boulder or something like that.
So the platform is quite bare. The best you can probably. In fact, I'd like you just to make a wisdom check. Okay, so there's no cover whatsoever on the platform. You believe the best cover you could get is to try and be as flat as possible along it. So you're still sort of 20 or so feet above the surrounding area. So if you was to say lie prone, you would sort of cut off most of your visibility. You believe.
Okay. In which case, I'll tell Cluck to come lie prone next to me, and I'll essentially say, "Get down here," and I'll lie down and I'll try to make out if I can see the figures.
Make a perception check.
15.
You do not. It's not until you see half a dozen javelins fly out from the opposite bank.
Okay.
And you are thankful that most of them appear to be aimed at other people.
Okay. I'm waiting for some sort of rolling to try and hurt me. Do I get any sort of bonus for being like flat against the earth, or?
You will, yes.
Okay.
I have no idea why I did.
Half ogre.
David's giving the game away.
No, the game was going to be given away. So, let's see. I'm going to say 3 javelins are going to be thrown at Clock. 1's going to be thrown at Kassar, now he's hidden himself. And 3 are going to be thrown at Ulfar.
Joy.
So, Kassar, the first, you will get a cover save to this.
Okay. What's the cover save do?
Improve your AC.
If it improves my AC, then both of them miss because my AC is 17.
Yes, okay. So you will have prone 3/4 cover. So that's a +5.
Wow. Yeah, they definitely miss.
Okay. So then the 3 that were thrown at Clock. A 6, a 7, and a 16.
They all miss.
I believe you can't be wearing your armor at the moment, my friend.
Oh.
What does that do to your AC?
Nothing good.
Yeah, so I only get hit once then.
Okay. And you take 8 points of piercing damage from that javelin that strikes you just above the chest. And then the 3 that come your way, Ulfar.
Do I get the bonus to AC from my shield would be on my back, which would be facing them? I'm perfectly willing to accept no, but I'm just asking.
No.
Okay.
Both your hands are on the rope.
Yeah.
It's going to be aimed at your backside.
So it's a 9, a 13, and a 10.
None of those hit. Not even close.
Then you'll find at this point, you all can see where they've originated from.
Well, that wasn't very nice.
And that brings us round to your turn, Duval.
Is there is there one missing? You threw 8 javelins.
No, I threw 7.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at initiative. That's my fault. Yep.
Oh Christ!
Well, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do up here. This puts us in a difficult, bit of a difficult position. From my position, am I able to see where everybody else is down the hill?
If you was to look over the edge, you would be able to see them. Yes.
And of course, I can see the baddies better than I can see them.
Mm.
Get the hell out of my office.
Well, I'm not going to be doing a lot of help up here.
Okay. It looks like the
I will probably. I think I'll probably just watch for a while, see if there's anything else, anything I can notice, anything that I can do from up here. So I think I'm gonna skip a go, basically.
Okay.
You can sit in the dodge. Oh no, I suppose you're climbing down and you can't really dodge.
Mm.
Okay. That
We haven't
brings us.
started climbing yet.
That brings us to you,
No.
Ulfar.
Yeah, so I'm still climbing down to the next ledge.
Mhm.
Presumably, would I make it in my turn?
You would.
Okay, then I will bed down in the dirt next to Kassar.
You don't make it to Kassar's ledge.
Oh, he's a ledge below me. Okay.
Yes. You make it about halfway down the cliff, which is about 60
Yeah.
feet.
Okay. Okay. Then yeah, I will, in a similar way, lie down in cover, and I will look over the edge to see what's going on with everyone else,
Mhm.
and obviously pick up.
Okay, can you tell me what it is?
I'll call down to Kassar and Clark. What do you want me to do?
Get your ass down here and fight.
I say I don't think they're going anywhere. It's kind of up to you.
Okay. Do I have enough movement to make it down to Kassar, or has all my movement been used in what I've just done?
All of your movement has been used in what you've been done. You could dash and move again, but I would have you make a check because of the speed at which you're moving.
Okay, yeah, let's go with that. What sort of check do you want?
A strength athletics.
Okay. $22.
Okay. You were able to move down the rest of the way to Kassar.
Yeah.
Sort of,
And
you sort of slide down the rope to an extent, and you will give yourself some nasty rope burns, but otherwise you make it down to his ledge.
Okay. I get down next to Kassar and I go, wait for the others, I guess.
No, we're gonna have to thin their numbers. Otherwise, they're if they've got more javelins, they're sitting ducks on that rope.
Okay. How? Okay. Well, that's the end of my turn anyway.
Clock.
Okay, I'm going to glide down to Kazar, and I'm going to pull out the javelin from my chest.
I would have done that first.
I'm tough.
He's a badass.
And then I'm going to immediately put a bit of cloth over my wound and put my armor on.
Okay.
And then do I see, is there any sort of perceived way through the waterfall, a way around across to them?
Make a perception check. I'm just going to quickly check.
She had abandoned him when he was a child. She was trying to protect him.
Unless anybody knows off the top of the head how quickly you can put armor on.
So he's
No, not in. No.
I was hoping you wouldn't ask. It takes ages.
It depends on the armor, I think.
Yeah, it does.
no reason.
Medium armor.
Except
It's
that
medium
he
armor,
would
isn't
be-
it, Clock?
Yes.
Okay. It would take you 50 turns to put your armor on.
How long?
50 turns or 5 minutes. It's it's quite good in that your armor's got like essentially like a rip cord, and you can pull it and it just falls off in a second. But to put it back on, you kind of have to pick it all back up and stack it on. And
That is actually not also necessarily true. I'm just putting this in chat now. That's not particularly well formatted, but you get the gist.
he's like his armor's special in that he can take it off in an action.
Oh, okay. But that is general for
Yeah.
for all.
Okay, so am I able to put my light armor on? Since I've still got light armor.
If you've still got light armor, that would only take you 10 turns.
You may have to be brave, Cluck.
It's where Cluck finds that he should have been a barbarian.
Barbarian chicken.
It would have fitted into the raging quite well. Or the bloodlust, sorry.
So safe to say, Cluck, that it would take you a great deal of time to put your armor on. Would you like to do something else? With your perception roll, you can see what appears to be a way across in front of the falls to your sort of left, that you could, with a few jumps, get across the water. There also appears to be sort of a small passageway behind the waterfall, although it seems
What
to...
sort of like there or around there?
Yeah. So you've got where's my ruler? So you could sort of like hop across there like that, quite comfortably.
Okay.
I don't know if that showed up for you.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
There's like a bit of a cavern here, but it's not very deep. It just appears to be where the water's sort of washed back and worn away some of the rocks.
Okay. So yeah, can I sort of make my way behind the wall?
Mhm.
Just sort of. I take it I'll be obscured. from
You
view
would.
being behind the wood. Yeah.
You would, and depends on the force that these ogres could throw at. There's a chance that their javelins wouldn't be able to penetrate the water.
Okay. So I'm going to sort of go behind the waterfall and to sort of take the shield off my back and just sort of put it in front of my
Mhm.
face.
Okay.
In front of my person.
Anything else for you?
Nope. That'll be it.
Brings us around to you, Kritak.
All right. Looking across like where I'm stood, could I go around the outside? Like, is there a ledge going far enough across I could get to where, like, above where the enemies?
Yeah. So up above you, you can. It does sort of lift up slightly either side. That's why the sort of like the area where you are has been cut at by the glacier, so it's the lowest. So you would have to go up somewhat, but yes, you would be able to get, so you wasn't descending upon them.
And how far is that?
I'd say, including the distance, you'd probably looking around 50, 60 feet, but it would add almost 100 feet to your climb.
Okay, quick math. It'd be quicker coming down and going across the bottom. Right. If I jumped off the edge, and bear with here, how low to the ground could I get and safely still pop my wings and stop?
I would say there would be a dexterity saving throw that would count as your reaction. And the better you do, the lower it will be. So you'll always, unless you like fail it, you will always stop within time and fail like critical fail it. You will always stop within time. It's just as how far you perceive that can be will depend on how good your check is.
Right.
So if it's really good, it could be like you could be hovering above the water like superhero pose. If it's really bad but not a fail, it could be like 30, 40 feet in the air still.
That's all right. So is that a save? You said.
Yes, dexterity saving throw. As you hurl yourself over the falls, probably to Duvar's surprise.
Yes. What the?
Okay, so you will get to 10 feet above the water before you stop yourself and find yourself in a hover in the mist of the waterfall.
Hope you know where you're gonna land.
So sort of
All right.
like
I was just
here.
ticking it on my thing. All right. For the moment, I will fly back.
2 seconds, I'm just going to see if there's anything on how far you fall. Oh, that's far too much algebra to understand.
That's what Google's for.
Okay, that's fine. Apparently you fall 500 feet per turn.
Shitting out.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that feels a bit extreme.
That is
Are you?
extreme.
Or you have to take in, depending on his weight, he would slowly speed up. He's not at terminal velocity, is he? It takes.
Yeah, there isn't there isn't the math in my head to be able to do that at the moment.
25.4 meters a
Come on.
second.
How much does he weigh? Come on, let's all work it out.
Let's not. Let's just move on.
This is what we all came for, the math section.
I
Love
thought
ourselves some maths.
So, yeah, the terminal velocity for a fallen human is around 176 feet per second. So,
Ugh.
yeah, I'd say you'd get to the bottom of the waterfall very quickly, and you probably still have most of your movement left. Which is what I'm trying to work out how much of your turn you would have actually spent falling to give you a proportion of movement.
Yeah.
Not a great deal, surprisingly. Yeah, so
Is it
could I
just-
get onto the ledge to my right?
Yes, you could get onto the lower ledge, which is 10 feet above you. The upper ledge would be a bit too far out of your range.
That's fine. I just wanted to be here.
with your friends?
And I've got my shield out.
Yeah, so almost 600 feet every 6 seconds, so it's a long way to fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, and you've got your shield out. Perfect. That brings us around to... sorry, anything else for you, Quitel?
Not from this distance, no.
Okay, that brings us around to Kasar.
Yes, I think I'm going to get up from my prone position, so I'm going to use a bit of movement to get up from my prone position.
Mhm.
And how far am I away from? Oh, I'm quite far away. So I'm going to say that we need to take some of them out and lessen the incoming fire. Begin firing back. Unsling my bow and fire at the nearest one, which I believe is this one. So I'm going to fire twice at him. I'm not in range to do anything else.
Which one? Sorry, him. Yeah. Okay.
The closest one, so him. And I'm just going to fire twice, and I don't believe I can do anything else. For 29 for the first shot.
Surprisingly, it's a hit.
Yeah. And that is. Sorry, just double checking. For 11 damage.
Okay.
And then the second shot. For 16.
That does not hit.
Okay.
It ricochets off the wall in front of him.
I should ignore cover.
You're right. You shouldn't ignore cover. That hits him.
It's only because you said wall, and I was like, I don't care about walls. And that does another 10 points of damage to him.
Okay. He will yowl with pain.
And I will scream back at him.
Ah!
My best Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
Sorry. Anything else for you, Kasar?
No, there is nothing else I can do, I believe.
Okay. So we've got Duvar still on the cliff. Cook has disappeared behind the falls. Critel's standing on the lower ledge with his shield. Kasai standing on the medium middle ledge with his bow, and Ulfar is hugging the dirt on the
Yeah,
middle
behind
ledge.
my shield. I've got like my shield planted in front of my face.
Right. Okay. So there will be another round of grunting and snarls, and one of the bigger ogres will point in your general direction, Cretel and Kasai. And there will be another volley of javelins.
Bring it.
And we're going to get 4 at Kassar and 3 at Cretel.
Oof.
So a 21, a 10, a 14, and a 7, Kassar.
So the 21 hits. I assume I'm not getting any cover anymore from because
You do not.
I stood up.
And you will take 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
A pair of 8s and a 13 against you, Cretel.
None of them.
Perfect. So as you look out before them, you can see that they've been picking up javelins that have been stuck in the snow in front of them, and they all have a single remaining javelin each. Duvar.
Oh, right.
You just
How?
watch Patel lemming off the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, just impressed and inspired by the jump I just saw from Cretel.
Oh my
And there
god.
would have been a massive flash of light as well, and then suddenly these big incorporeal, like golden wings.
I'm starting to hear the song "I Believe I Can Fly" in my head. How? If if I look over the edge, how far down are the two ledges? So from here, how much? How much
So
do I?
the upper ledge is about 60 feet down. The medium or middle ledge is 80 feet. 80 feet? No, 100 feet. And the bottom ledge is 120 feet.
Hmm. Okay. I was thinking about leaping
Okay.
to the first ledge
Okay.
using slow fall
Mhm.
as an option.
Yep.
Just to get down quite quickly.
So you would use slow fall as a reaction to taking the falling damage.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes. Maybe. Let's have a look here. I'm not entirely sure. It's either that or I don't do anything. Maybe I'll just look over the edge and go, maybe not. Looking over the edge, he decides not. Let's have a look at this. So 25. If I falling damage, it would take off 25 if I jumped. And falling damage is 1d6 per 10 feet.
Mhm.
So we're talking about 6d6 for the first one, did we say?
Mhm.
Which is potentially 36 in damage. Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
So a max of 18 to you.
Okay, so Duvar jumps off the cliff.
Yep.
Duvar, I would like you. So as you hit the first cliff,
Mhm.
you will take 23 points of damage, which you can negate with your slow fall.
Yep.
I would like you now to make a acrobatics check to see if you remain on this cliff edge.
Of course I do. Why did you ask? Of course I remain on it.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah,
You do.
that's not bad.
Is that my movement used up?
No, you can still have a portion of your movement. So at this point, you're sort of up here.
Okay.
And there is like you just have to imagine in your mind eye that there is another cliff edge that isn't drawn on this map.
Right. Okay. And how? So I'm down. What did we
60
say? 60
feet.
feet.
Yep, there's another
And how far is the next one?
It's another 40 feet below you.
Am I able to use another jump to get to that one?
You can only take one reaction per turn, so you can jump.
Thank you. Right.
But
Oh yes. Okay. But I can't use my slow fall.
you can't use this.
That's a shame. That's a good point, though. Okay. Right. Then we will. I will. I'll stay where I am. I think that's all I can do from here. Don't think I can do anything else.
You still got your darts, I think.
Not from this distance, surely.
I don't know what the range are on your dart.
20 or 60.
You could throw a dart at Cretel. That seems to be your go-to in times like this.
Yeah, I could. You're right.
At least it's not on fire.
No, I think I'll just I'll put myself in. I don't think they can hit me from here, but just in case, I'll put myself in a defensive stance.
Okay.
Or a dodge.
Oh,
Dodge.
yes, dodge.
Dodge on a cliff. Is that possible?
Yes.
Okay.
Ulfar brings us around to you.
David, would it be considered stormy conditions at the moment?
No, it is. I think we had covered off earlier. It is clear and sunny with very little wind.
No worries. Okay.
About as
I
unstormy as you can imagine.
Yeah, unhelpful, but we'll still go with this. I reach my hands up into the sky and I create a storm centered above this guy here, and I call lightning directly on his position. So he needs to do a Dex saving throw.
A Dex saving throw.
Yeah.
How very rude. Does he look like a dexterous half
He
ogre?
does not look like a dexterous ogre. I doubt he likes lightning either.
He does not. A Dex saving throw. Oh, I need to take off his disadvantage. Stand. He
Okay,
fails.
So he fails. So he takes 25 points of damage.
Okay.
As does anything in 5 feet.
Okay. So your lightning bolt strikes him. There's a thunderous boom. Bits of the wall disintegrate around him, and the tree next to him catches fire, as does what's left of his hair.
Cool. And then I sort of, I just stay in my prone position, looking over my shield, and that's the end of my turn.
Okay.
Maintaining my big storm over the lot of them.
So I start. Sorry, does that affect multiple people then?
It's concentration for 10 minutes. I can call down a strike of lightning anywhere within a 60-foot square of him every turn.
Oh Jesus!
So like every turn, I'm going to be able to hit anyone but this guy at the very bottom. He's outside of the storm, but any of the others I can hit with lightning for the next 10 minutes.
Okay.
Each turn.
Brings us right to you, Clock.
Yeah, I'm just going to continue making my way through the waterfall, and then I've probably not got enough movement to jump down to the bottom.
No, you certainly can make the jump. Say you've got enough to make that jump, and then depending on how you do, you need to make the next jump. But as you jump, I'd like you to just make an acrobatics check to see how well you hold your footing in the. You're fine. You dig your claws into the rock.
Yeah. Steel claws.
And I do like the fact that like Cluck's jumping from rock to rock when he can fly.
Yeah, I've become a target then. I'm sort of concealing myself in the waterfall and spray.
Oh, so you're attempting to hide as well?
Sort of.
Yeah, make a stealth check.
Well, I was before, but now I've sort of jumped off, so I'm
it's
now
fine.
just in the spray.
Still make a stealth check.
No.
Yeah, you're about as hidden as a giant red chicken in a steam bath.
It's called puffed up feathers.
How steamy is it?
Well, it's more mist than steam, but the effect is the same. Critel.
Okay. How high is the ledge behind me?
That is 20 feet above you.
Right, I'm going to put myself in front of Kazar and say, it looks like they've only got one javelin left each. We'll make a break after that. And I will kneel in front of him and put my shield out in front of me to provide cover.
Okay.
I will say, you can. I'm quite happy with my bow.
Either way, I'm gonna guard
This
him for
works.
this turn.
This works from ranged.
And for your action,
Dodge action.
perfect. Kassar.
Why do I think it's gonna be like someone's gonna shoot at Crotel? He's gonna dodge out of the way, and it's gonna thud straight into me.
I was going to say, you should have done dodge. Surely you should have done.
Well, by dodge, I just mean take defense.
No, it's just the way that it sounds. 'Cause it's like
Yeah.
I'm gonna shield Kassar, and as soon as javelin comes in, I'm gonna dodge out of the way. It's like, oh fuck.
The worst bodyguard ever.
Yeah.
What's
Alright,
worse
so-
is you take that javelin to your knee, and that's the end of your adventuring days.
We're used to acid damage. You know,
Yep,
as long as
but
it's
a javelin
scar.
to the knee is enough to put you working for the town guard, and you can go and work for Paydat.
That's not the worst job in the world. Okay, I will resume my assault on the closest ogre.
Nice.
30, which I assume.
Yes, hit.
Just a little bit.
For 14 damage.
Okay,
Nice.
that is enough to bring that ogre down.
Okay, at
And he
which
will
point I'll
topple over in front of the wall.
switch targets, and I'll target the second closest one, which is either going to be from me, 130. So it'll be this guy.
The one that I hit.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it'll be him. I'll target the next closest.
Okay.
And 21, which I assume hits
It is.
for 8 points of damage.
Okay, you strike him in the chest.
And I'll yell out at the you can't win, you abominations. Flee or die.
Okay. The half ogres at this point.
Wisdom. Oh no.
They don't flee at the sign of the thunderstorm brewing above them. And there will be a further volley of javelins aimed in your directions. Now, Cluck is very visible. Cretel is half visible. Kassar's half visible. Duvar's pretty visible. Okay, there's going to be one at
Half
each.
is just
Plus,
half is just +2, isn't it?
yes. So there's going to be one at each plus an additional one at Cluck and an additional one at Duvar.
Okay.
All at disadvantage. So Cluck. A 19 and an 8.
I think he's going to.
Yep, that's fine. That's 15 points of damage when he gets back. I'm sure one of you will
Oh,
happily
right.
remind.
Max damage.
Yep, I know. I heard you.
2 for Duvar at 14 and 13. Which misses. One for Cretel at 11.
Which misses.
Definitely
And
misses.
one for Kassar at 9.
That certainly misses.
Okay,
Slams into shield.
that is the rest of the ogres. Duvar.
Yes. Right.
Jump, 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 jump.
He'll land on you.
Yes, aiming for
Or
Kazar.
me.
Aiming
Let's have a
Kazar.
look at improvised damage for something £500 landing on you.
Oh. There is still a rope, man.
Hit by
You
falling
could
rubble. Yeah, that would do, wouldn't it?
Angle
What's
your
that,
shield at a
D10s?
45-degree angle.
You're gonna bounce off. Just
Glide
like
off
heave
and
up as
land
you
in the
come
water.
down.
No, just
Yeah.
start sliding down and then retreat into your shell and use yourself like a little boogie board.
I tried that. No one would. I tried that on the ski slope. No one would wanted to get on me.
Oh, whoa, that's different.
I was very disappointed.
There'll be no mounting in this group.
you just jumping on top of each other then, yeah. Ooh. So we are. What are we? 30 feet, 60 feet.
You're 60 feet from the top and 60 feet from the bottom ledge. You're 40 feet from the second ledge, which everybody's currently standing on.
You could probably climb down the rope to us if you double moved. Would that be fair to say, David?
Should have that movement being a monk.
I have. Oh, good point. What movement do I actually have? Helps to know that stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it's only like the one thing that you will use every turn.
I've lost it. Can't find it.
40 feet.
40 feet.
Yeah, so you could make it down to us. Movement down the rope.
You laughing at
I scuttled down, scuttled down the
He's gone. We've lost him.
I climbed down the rope then. I suppose.
You climb down the...
What was it? Did you say 60 feet? Didn't we? From the next ledge.
40 feet.
40
40
feet
feet from
down
the
to
next one.
us.
So I could get down to you guys in one turn.
Yeah.
Or I could dash, couldn't I, to get to the other ledge?
Yep.
Okay, it's going to start to get a little bit crowded on that little ledge. I'm going to dash to the bottom, the lower ledge. And see if I can. Depending on how much movement I've got left, see if I can get behind the waterfall.
Okay. I would like you to make a strength athletics check.
Athletics. Athletics? Why not acrobatics? That's not good.
Oh dear.
Oof. Oof.
Okay. You slip and you fall.
Yay! Slow fall.
Okay. I would like Kassar, Quittel, and Ulfar to now make dexterity saving throws.
Was that
What
dexterity?
saving
So you
throw,
cut out.
sorry?
Dexterity.
Ugh.
Thank God I'm good at these.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
Hey, in fairness, I'm lying down. It makes
It's
sense.
Worse.
You just roll over and look upwards, and you see a giant shell, like Mario Kart.
The
Just a
blue
green
shell.
Yep.
The blue shell is incoming.
So you each take 8 points of damage.
8.
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty brutal.
As he like
Good job I
ping
got over
pongs between
50.
us on the ledge.
Hi.
No, when I say each, I mean you Ulfar and Duvar, because he lands on top of you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you
Do I
meant
not-
all of us.
Yeah, do I not get slow fall for that?
You can use slow fall if you want.
Yeah.
It won't stop the the damage that inflicts on Ulfar
That would be nice. Thanks.
Ooh.
doesn't.
Doesn't. Oh, it doesn't.
Oh,
Okay.
it doesn't. Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'll hit with the slow fall. Why not? Yeah. So I'll negate the damage from myself, I suppose. Then.
Yes.
Okay. That was a bit of a muff up. Oh well. Sorry about
I'm like, I'm fine.
Okay. What else do you do, Duvar?
that. Well, since I'm already prone, because I presume I'm prone,
Yes.
I'll just stay prone.
Okay. Stay prone on top of Ulfar.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Ulfar.
I'll roll off him if that's okay.
Yep, that's fine. Ulfar, I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay. Oof,
Your
8.
spell dissipates.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna fucking.
Still fine?
Question: does my storm continue to exist? It's obviously not in my control.
Unless your spell says it continues to exist, it will dissipate. Because there are some spells which you just lose control to move.
Yeah. I think it probably dissipates.
Yeah.
Yeah. No worries.
Okay. Ulfar.
Fuck it, I'm making another storm. Come to me, Stormlord! And I do exactly the same thing, and I hit Mr. Crispy that I hit the first time. Dex
Okay.
saving.
He's going to make it rain more turtle.
Yeah.
He fails.
Fails, and he takes 16 points of lightning damage.
His skeleton briefly shows in a cartoon sort of black and white as he's electrocuted. He then he will smoke and smolder and fall face first into the snow.
Yes! Fuck you! Javelin, motherfucker. That's the end of my turn.
Okay. Clock. Currently having a bird bath in the
Cleaning my wound. Yeah, I'm just going to walk to about there.
To cover.
Actually, no, too far. I can sort of sit behind the rock.
Okay.
Assuming I can crouch behind the rock.
You've been in the water there. It'd be cold, but you can certainly submerge yourself in it.
I'm a bird. I'm covered in oily feathers. And water repellent.
Okay, and for your action?
I'm just going to stand ready with my shield.
Okay.
And block.
Dodge.
Dodge, that's everyone.
Okay. Cattell.
Dodge, and dive.
Right. I'm going to use my wings and dash across the wall.
Okay. Abandoning Kassan.
As far as I'm concerned, they got no javelins left.
Okay.
I'm used to it.
And as I use dash, that'll be my action as well.
Okay. Brings us round to Kassar.
Okay. I'll continue to so 135, 125. I'll fire. Can I see that one down in the
Yes.
bottom right? He's now the closest.
Yes.
Okay. I will fire twice at him as he is now the closest. And for 13 points of damage.
Okay.
And I'm going to use sharpshooter on the second one because I'm doing quite well with rolls. And I've totally forgot that I could use that.
Oh, nice.
So this is 1d8 plus 16. So it's 1d8 plus 16, and it'd be plus 8, wouldn't it?
Mhm.
For 30 damage. So it takes 43 in total.
Okay. He's dead.
No shit.
That'll do that.
The
I'll
first
continue.
arrow hits him in the chest and he pulls it out, and then the second arrow hits him in the same spot but goes in up until the feathers.
And I'll
Damn.
continue. I'll continue my tirade against the half ogres and shout, "Die, you abomination, scum! Rebels, flee or die!"
Okay.
Not sure they'll be able to hear you, but
You're just shouting into a waterfall.
yeah,
and then they
the
kind
rage of the
of
waterfall.
thing.
So there is going to be a roar from them, and they're going to charge forward.
Yes, bring yourself to me.
So I'll just look over the cliff and just what I can only assume is Kazar doing an impression of the sand people going.
That sounded like Kermit. Hey, Miss Piggy.
They can move a long way.
They're dashing, so they've picked up
Okay.
their quite large battle axes, and they are running at you. Cattell and Cluckley, we didn't really see you were there until the sort of the last few movements, or last few steps of their movements, and then they're like, "Fuck it, why not?"
Shooter.
And one starts to wade out into the river. But that's all they do this time. Duvar, what mischief will you cause this turn?
How will he endear himself to the rest of the team this time?
Wow, what will I do? What will I do? Hmm. 80 feet. The dash is about 80 feet, isn't it? Presumably I can get over there.
Can you run across water yet?
No, that's level 6, I think.
Okay, then it'd be 20 feet to get down to the next ledge.
Mm-hmm.
Then 20 more feet to get down to the water. And then it will be double movement in the water.
So you'd actually only get right in the middle of the river with your with double movement.
That's not good, is it? But okay, so let's get down to the river at least. So I'd like to get down to the river, to the rocks, down to here.
Yep.
That's okay.
Is this just normal movement or are you dashing?
No, just normal movement.
Oh yeah, you can get down there with all of your movement.
Yep. Okay. And I put myself in a prepare myself for a dodge. I don't think I've got anything else I can do.
Okay. Brings us around to you, Ulfar.
Okay, I call lightning in the middle of the tree up here, so all of them need to make dex saving throws. They're all within 5 feet of the strike. So the 14 set passes, takes half damage. The other two take. So the two that take full take 23, and so the other one takes 11, 12, 11.
Just reading out random numbers.
Yeah.
So 23 and 11.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a crack of lightning in front of you, Critel, and it jumps into all three of them at once.
I'm gonna just blink and try and get my vision back.
That brings us to you, Cluck.
Do any of them look fried? Or on the verge of a...
The one closest to you looks fine. The other one that you can see clearly looks damaged or bloodied.
Okay. I will make advancements onto this one. And then I will proceed. I'll give myself inspiration. Not inspiration.
Advantage.
A fighting spirit.
Okay.
Give yourself a boost of health because I sort of need it.
So I think at this point you've probably still got your shield out, or at least you seem to have it out the whole way across.
Yeah, I'm gonna take out my scimitar as I advance on them.
Mm-hmm.
And
So to take out your scimitar, you're going to have to drop your shield.
it's made out of wood; it will float. Or can I just like throw it onto the bank, or leave it on the rock?
Yeah, you can sort of drop it in and around. It's not going to disappear off.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll drop that for now, and then I will attack that one.
With your advantage. That's a hit. So you get in under his swing with his battle axe.
For 11.
And slash him across the chest, and he now looks bloodied.
And I'll attack again. Let's see what's a hit.
That is 21.
And I'm going to re-roll it. 10.
Okay, so as he tries to catch you with his other swing, you will cut off his hand at the wrist.
Nice.
And as he falls over, you can bury your scimitar into his side.
Get wrecked, scrub.
Join the bloodlust.
I feel the rage flow through me.
Okay, anything else for you, Cluck?
Can I use my second wind? Regain health?
You certainly can.
I will do that. just because I think it might be worthwhile. I'll recover 14 points of health.
Not a bad thing at all.
Nope. And that will be the end of my turn.
Okay. That will bring us round to you, Critel.
Okay, I will move into engage.
Forward. Single
And
column.
I will attempt to hit it.
Okay, swing at it. That is a hit.
Just seeing how many dice I need to roll for divine. On first level, I think it's 2. Yeah, for first level spell slot, it's an extra 2d8. And I can't remember if it's my level damage for radiant extra from me having my wings out at the moment. Yeah, it is. It's character level, so 6 extra.
Okay.
Roll it up.
Keep rolling, rolling, rolling.
Back the fuck up while we fuck this shit.
Jesus.
I feel like an awkward teen again.
Nice.
Can someone please oil that fucking chair?
No,
And
you,
now I
my
have-
friend, cannot talk about background noise. Okay, so Critel, as you strike him with your longsword, he is consumed in holy energy and will sort of raise his hand up to block it out and then fall backwards dead.
Okay. As I have extra attack now, can I continue my movement and hit the next one?
Yes, you can. And hit you do. And kill him you do.
Cool. That's the end of my turn and 2
Thanks,
spell
Yoda.
slots down.
And that brings us back to Cassandra. With the only ogre left alive, currently wading out
Look.
into the water.
I'll laugh to myself and draw my bow. And I'm going to shoot him twice.
It'd be funny if you miss.
And you hand him
Yeah.
a pretty picture of your bow.
Kill the bastard. 24
Surprisingly, it's a hit.
for 20 points of damage. And the second attack will get a 14.
So your first attack will cause him to
Oh.
fall over face down in the water, and he will slowly start to drift away in the current.
Wasted an arrow shooting him again.
Well, I kind of reasoned it's long enough. It's a long enough distance. I probably would have shot the second arrow before the first one had even hit.
Yeah.
Quick scope.
Quick scope.
360 no scope.
And seeing that one go down, I'm going to try and climb down the rest of the ledge.
Okay. At this point, we will end combat. So, what would everybody like to do in the immediate aftermath?
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to
make
check the ones near me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make my way across and claim my kills.
I was going to say, yeah, I'll do the same as Kasar. Make the safest way across to the dead ogres and everybody else.
Okay. Duvar?
I look for stuff in the bushes.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I dissipate the giant storm above us. There's just
Yeah, please do that.
Okay. So, Duvar, you're fairly certain of being your heritage that swimming's probably the quickest way for you.
Yeah.
Ulfa and Kasar, you've got two options. You can try and follow the route that Cluck took, jumping from stone to stone behind the waterfall, or you could also equally try and swim across these cold waters.
No, I was gonna take the long route. There's no point being quick. So like, is it that sort of route, wasn't it?
It would
Yeah.
be. It'd still be a check from both
Make
of
sure you
you.
don't slip on the slippery rock.
Acrobatics, please.
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics.
Oh
Oof,
no.
Oh god, you slip and break a leg.
So yeah, so the first step Kasar takes onto the rock,
Oh, no.
his foot goes from underneath him and he lands in the water. And as you surface, you will find Ulfar laughing at you. And as he jumps onto the rock, he will slip and fall on top of you.
So whereabouts do I get to? I'm like in the water here somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere around there with Ulfar just landing on top of you.
Yeah, we're just sort of, I just start laughing out loud. Just
I say, well, I'm glad that didn't happen a minute ago.
yeah.
Yeah. So
You're
this-
damn
I
right.
assume you,
It's at
I
this
assume you're
point
probably just sitting there
you're
waiting for the
both
shock to pass.
you'll both become aware that you're carrying an awful lot of paper and parchment between you.
Oh shit. Yeah, yeah. We just. I presume. Well, I'm gonna try and swim across. Is like,
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna swim across as sort of fast as I can.
No, that was that deep. I might have jumped in it.
What then create a
Um,
tidal wave?
and then presuming we get here without fault, I will start checking over these ogres
I'm gonna check
and everyone else.
the ones that I killed. I will go and check and claim.
Oh, so Kretel and Cluck, you were on the bank further, the quickest.
Okay.
We were
So
already here.
yeah, you will be able to make your survival checks first.
Oh, here's
Yep.
where all the ones come out.
So, Cluck, you find absolutely nothing of interest on any of these ogres. Kretel, you will know from having been to Caldekeld and spent some time there that there is a current bounty on ogre toes.
Their toes.
Their toes. Now, you do know that sort of like there can be potions made out of like giant toes, but ogre toes aren't nearly as valuable. But you'll be able to trade them in for some gold as proof of their demise. It's just the big toe, specifically the right big toe that has a bounty on it.
Well, I will take the right big toe.
Okay. And do you go around and do it to each of them?
At least the two next to me that I killed, because I would have had time before anyone else got over.
So as everybody else makes it to the other side, you will see that Kretel is hacking off the big toe of each half ogre in front of him.
Hey man, I don't judge. Whatever your thing is. Dude.
There's a
I mean-
bounty on them.
I mean, I like teeth, so I kind of
Let's
kind of
say-
get it. I guess if you've got a toe thing. That's fine.
It's canon now. Right.
Uh,
Do you want the rest of us to do survival checks now?
Please, and as you go through their pockets, you will find that there's nothing really of any value whatsoever. Their battle axes are extremely crude and certainly not worth the weight. They're a bit unwieldy to you guys as well.
Not me.
Now,
Are they
but
really this
I'm-
big in comparison to us? Like 4 squared?
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure they were.
So we don't really find anything of use.
I'm not looking at the creatures because I didn't kill any. So
Can I take an,
That's not stopped Duvar from taking stuff that didn't belong to him before.
yeah,
I-
well, maybe
can I
he's
take an
learned.
ogre tusk as a trophy?
yeah, I was gonna say if I don't find anything else in the bodies, I'm gonna dig out the tusks for my necklace,
Yep. So
which we haven't discussed for quite some time.
I'd like to look around the area, by the way.
Okay, so the tusks themselves aren't particularly large. It's very certain, or you're very sure that the ogres have, these particular half ogres were bred with orcs. But you can certainly dislodge a couple of teeth for good measure. What are you looking for in the area, Duvar?
Good question. I'm looking for food.
Okay.
I think what I'll do is, if you don't mind, I'll look for. I'm looking for, because it's ruins. I'll just look for anything useful around the edges of the ruins and the walls, and I'll look for trapdoors, secret passages, anything like that.
Okay, make
maybe.
a perception check. Yep.
God damn you.
Apart from a few tumble down walls, you don't find sign of anything interesting.
Mhm.
Once I finish
Rolls
sort of
would
check,
be absolute terrible.
I was gonna say once I finish checking the bodies, I wanted to look for like footprints to see where the ogres have come from, or sort of which direction they travelled from.
Okay, make a survival check. Okay, so you're fairly certain they came from the west, although the trails are quite hard to follow. It looks like even though that they didn't put up much of a fight, they did well in covering their approach, and you can see spots of disturbance, but it looks like they trail off into the forest to your west.
Right. There may be a larger camp to the west. I'll say to the rest of them, I don't know where this group came from, but there may be more of them. It seems they came from the forest.
I don't imagine we won't interact with many evil things, the forests of the world.
Well, considering every time we've walked into a forest so far, it's been full of evil things. I'm sure we'll find something. These creatures really are disgusting.
Yeah, they smell funny too.
Yeah, talking of, so do we actually. It's been a long time since we've been at an inn, so if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna take a quick wash in the river while
In
the
the
opportunity
perishingly cold.
affords. And I'm going to head down to the river to bathe, as I have gone a couple of days without bathing, and I smell a bit of rank sweat, as do some of my companions.
Okay, so Kasar goes down to the river. What's everybody else doing?
Say I
Duva thinks that smells fine. He doesn't think he smells at all.
ruffled my feathers when I was in the water, so I'm all right.
Yeah, that's right. Duva actually.
If
stomach
everybody's
rotted.
finished with the rest of the ogres, I'm going to go and hack off the rest of the big.
Okay.
I will probably carefully go through like things that might have been perishable and try my best to salvage anything I'm carrying in that regard, wrap it up, what have you, dry it off. If that involves like having to like light a torch to try and sort of dry stuff out, or making a little campfire, I'll do that as well.
Okay. So Cattell, you will get 6 ogre toes, and one of the bodies has been washed downriver.
Okay.
Yeah, presuming that everybody else is just happy around the area, we'll wait for Cassar to finish washing, and then you can decide what your next course of action is.
Yeah, we're happy. I'm happy at least.
Make our way downstream, follow the river.
Yeah. We roughly know from seeing from above that the river roughly travels south. Yeah, I presume we'd follow the river south. Guys,
Okay.
Would that be fair to say?
Yep.
I guess so. If we don't go west to find out where they came from, then let's just stick to the plan and head south.
Hmm.
As we go south, do we hit those woods?
Yeah, so you're starting to move into the woods as you move off southwards. Now you're off the mountains. It does get quite woody.
I take it we were on the left side of the
I
river.
say we go west until we hit the road.
If we
I
went
don't fancy
west, we'd
walking
be.
through the south of the forest.
I will say to Cretel that if we go west, we'll be following in the half ogre's footsteps.
Out of character, you guys also remember that's where spiders are.
Yeah, that's why I want to go west. I'd much rather argue with more of those than the spiders.
Yeah, Gammon was very insistent that you don't go into the woods next to the road when you last saw
Exactly.
him.
Yeah, so
Well, no matter what happens, we're going into the woods, right?
yeah, no,
They're fucking giant spiders, mate.
Ulfar will say, I think I do not trust our footing in the woods. I would follow.
The woods are my home. I'm more than happy in the woods.
I remember the last time we went looking for bacon and we found poison.
We had some fun, didn't we?
I'm going to put my armor on for going in them blasted woods again.
Yeah, Cluck, you can certainly spend sort of 5 or so minutes now putting your armor on.
And did you pick up your shield?
Yes, I picked others on the way out.
Let us take a vote. I vote we follow the river. What do other people say?
I say we get out of the woods as soon as possible. We've had a little bit of an incident in here before.
I'll agree with that.
I had fun the last time we were here, and I thought it was a good fight. But I will follow. Either way, we will be in the woods. So
We fought exceptionally well that day.
We fought exceptionally well today.
In fact, we did.
Maybe we are just exceptional warriors, Cretel.
Well, we've had a lot of practice.
I trust the river as our quickest way to get through the forest because we will be sure of our direction. To go any other direction, we could get lost very easily.
I've lived in forests near enough my entire life. I can't. I would be very doubtful that I would get lost inside a forest.
Okay, so put it to a vote. As I said, I vote down the river. What does everyone else say?
I say towards the road, because at least once we get to the road, it'll be easier travel as well.
Okay,
Agreed.
that's one
Agreed.
each.
Agree with that.
That's 2-1, and I presume, Kassar, you are of the let's go running in the woods plan.
I'm happy with either because either means we're in the woods, so I will abstain. What I
Okay, so
will
that's
suggest is that I move ahead of the group.
I will
I-
vote to go through the woods.
agreed. Okay, so west we go.
Go west.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Right. Onwards, Kassar, lead the way.
So I'll move about 60 feet ahead of the group and start making my way through the forest.
Okay. So it's about midday when you set off. And as you
I'm
move
also
west.
intentionally listening for like rustling and scuttling.
Okay. So being in the woods, there is a lot of rustling. Just in general, it doesn't sound at all unusual, but there is a lot of rustling.
So I'll just keep an eye out, and if I sort of keep checking for tracks in the woods or anything that might be there, but I'll move as sort of stealthily through the front, and if I come across something, I'll I've got enough time to relay it backwards before they blunder in.
Okay. So you set off westwards.
Mm-hmm.
And you will pass another couple of tributaries of the river that flow off the mountain. And just remind me, with your wood thing, you can't get lost in woods, can you?
Yeah, that's the whole thing there. So as long as we're traveling for an hour or more, we can't become lost except for magic. We remain alert to danger even when we're engaged. I move stealthily ahead of the group, and if we forage, I find twice as much and can track creatures.
So you're trying to move stealthily ahead of the group.
Yeah, so I'm about 60 feet ahead of the group, sort of keeping ahead of them just so they don't blunder into anything.
Okay.
Bearing in mind you've got me and Kratel in like heavy armor.
No, it's
clanking
fine.
around.
I just like so in the second group, who is first?
I will be.
Okay. I would
Oh,
like you
wait,
to make a survival check.
Survival check coming up.
Oh god.
You are dead.
Oh shit.
Thank God for that +6.
After about an hour, you've lost sight of Kassar. He was moving so stealthily that you lost sight of him, and rather than admit to the others that you'd lost sight of him, you just set off in the direction you think you last saw him moving. And it's about an hour worth of time will pass before Kassar, you will notice that the others aren't following you anymore.
Motherfucker.
If I sort of double back a little bit, just sort of like sort of the 60 feet or so, do I see any track of them?
No.
There you go.
Okay.
Way back.
Yeah.
An hour's
In
back.
which case I'm gonna try and make my way out to the road and hopefully meet them there. So I'll continue heading west.
Okay.
You're gonna get
It's what
attacked
I
by
would do.
spiders.
As I'm going, because I've been reading the book on herbs, just sort of as I move through the forest, I want to sort of check for any herbs that I may find while I'm in there.
Of course. Make another. No, not enough survival. Make a.
Arcana check, right?
I was gonna say nature, but I'm actually thinking it might be survival.
Well, I can make a perception followed by a survival if I find it, if I see anything, if that's what you want.
Make a nature check based on like. There's plenty of plants and stuff around. I want to see whether you think there are any of use. You do
No.
not.
Okay. All right. Well, I will just continue westwards.
Serves you right for abandoning us, you bitch.
You. Actually, it's the turtle's fault.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not the turtle's fault. It's your fault for being so quiet and doing it stealthily.
Okay, so you're about halfway through the woods. Well, Kasai, you reckon you're about halfway through the woods. Duvar, you're not really sure. But the night is starting to settle in, and you've probably got an hour's worth of daylight left.
He definitely went this way.
How long have we been traveling for, David?
Uh,
Roughly
Since
nighttime.
the fight, about 5 hours.
Yeah, if it's you said we set off for about midday, didn't you? So
Yeah, you finished combat around midday.
How thick's the forest canopy?
It's fairly dense.
it's going to get very dark.
There's no natural paths that you're aware of through the forest. So obviously the map's a representation. There are like open glades every now and again.
So what are our options here? So I turn to the rest of them and say, he's gone and left us. He was there a minute ago, and now he's gone.
How far is Khazar actually from us, distance-wise? Do we reckon?
You don't know.
So
Am I able to?
You've been travelling
take my
about an
arm off
hour
again?
before Duvar notices that
Even
Kasar
then-
wasn't in front of him,
yeah.
and he probably waited about 10 minutes after that, after he realised he'd
Yeah.
lost him before he mentioned it, because of
I didn't mention it, but I'm like, he's gone. He's left us.
I trust that he will be able to look after himself. I don't think us bedding down in this forest is I would suggest we power through the night and try and make our best direction west. Maybe Cluck, you fly above and guide us in the right direction, but I think yes, I think keep moving is our best choice. What do you think?
So can I take the armor off again and sort of fly up and then allow an eagle type call of one that Khazar will recognise?
you certainly can, Cluck.
Before he does that, can I ask him if it's a great idea?
Yeah, I don't
Well,
think he's.
well,
I don't
Cluck-
think you know
Cluck-
what he's gonna do.
Do you tell anybody what you're doing?
Cluck's taking his armor off and he's going flying.
What are you doing, Cluck?
And
then-
Cluck just takes off
It's
as you ask that
probably a
question.
better idea than what I have.
And then if push comes to shove, I can just leave you on the floor and just...
Yeah.
If I see giant spiders, I can just fly away.
What do your bird eyes see, Cluck?
So Cluck, you fly above the canopy and let out an eagle scream. Kasar, make a perception check.
Okay. Do I get advantage for being in the forest, or am I just?
No.
Okay.
It's a negatory.
Okay, Cluck, you wait and you hear or see no response.
Okay. Can I see any sort of clearing, like the side of whether there might be a road,
Stands.
or where the forest might end?
Make a perception check. You can see that there's a wide open area of hills and rolling hills and snow, probably about 10 miles to your front.
Okay, so there's some hills and then a large clearing.
The trees will dissipate and then it's just rolling hills.
Okay.
Cluck flies off in that direction.
Has he?
No, I will momentarily drop back down into the canopy and let them know that the forest clears into rolling hills, not too far away, and then I'm gonna proceed to fly back up into the canopy.
We will press in that direction, Clark. And I'm going to start trudging off in that direction.
Okay.
Can the rest of us see in the dark?
I got
No.
light
No.
torch.
Cluck
If it
can't see
get-
in the dark either.
If it
I've
gets,
got my
because
scimitar.
we're about to get to dark. If it gets dark, I will light a torch.
Yeah, so your scimitar sort of illuminates 40 feet around you, Cluck, so it's not after that you'll just see darkness after dark, just so you're...
That's fine.
Don't look at the light. Ruin your night.
Hopefully, me flying around with a very big beacon of light flying around in the sky.
Yeah. So we head in roughly in the right direction, and we get out of the woods. I think
Jumping ahead of yourself there a little bit.
and we get home absolutely. Thanks, David.
Yeah, I mean, if need be, I can do this for light.
Okay,
I think we'll be okay with torches for the minute.
and that's where we're going to end the session for tonight. So, first of all, thank you very much for those that have been watching. I've been keeping an eye on the numbers, and we have had a little bit of interest tonight, so that's always good. If you like what you've seen, feel free to give us a follow. We stream primarily on Mondays at 7:30 PM UTC, and it's generally about 3 hours in length. So we'll be on to session 28 next week. I've got to go very quickly because I've been staying up far too late this week. So just very quickly, just run through the group if there's anybody who wants to say anything.
Well, hopefully we were entertaining.
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much for coming. See you later.
Bye all.
Bye.